Welcome to Gotta Ping. I'm Mei Ping, the founder of Gotta Ping. As a next-gen leadership coach, I help high-performing young executives and entrepreneurs like you to navigate complex people and problems with top-notch communication and leadership skills to create sustained success. In today's podcast, I want to talk about why deep conversations are cool. Hi, we are now at the midpoint of my 5-day, 5-part Introverts Unite series. So if you haven't caught the earlier ones, please follow my podcast. So right now in the world today, there's a lot of emphasis on small talk. So if you are attending a bunch of trainings and courses, I'm sure you would have heard about why small talk is so important to launch your business and how it helps in your career and in terms of developing a good and cordial relationship with people. So great. So I'm all about small talk, and I think the ability to have small talk is a very good skill to have in your communication arsenal. So amazing. What I want to talk about today is the lack of appreciation of the beauty and the power of having deep conversations. So introverts are very good and they truly enjoy having deep one-on-one conversations. If you're an introvert, you operate a lot in your mind and generally you are pretty curious. So a deep conversation allows you to have the space to really speak with that person and couple it with your listening skills, which are normally pretty advanced, to really learn about a person and get that insights and satisfy your curiosity. So deep conversations, it's a pretty cool thing. And I'll share a story with you. So I was talking to one of my friend's sisters. She's part of the Generation Z, very young, only 20 years old. So she was telling me that there's something wrong with her because she just finds small talk very terrifying. She's afraid to even approach someone to just say, hi, how are you? She finds it very awkward. That's one thing. But most of all, she finds it ridiculous. Ridiculous in the sense that she finds that she can't really connect with a person by asking one or two questions, how are you? And she finds it very superficial. And if you are a deep conversationalist, I'm sure at some point in your life, you might have felt the same way also. So the challenge is this. Why do we need to have small talk? And why people think that having a long one-on-one conversation is not good? I guess there's no clear-cut answer, but in today's very busy, fast-paced world, I guess we all have very short attention spans. We don't really have the time or patience to listen to someone else. In fact, I think there lies the beauty. For someone to really allocate, half an hour or 1 hour to really listen to you deeply, to really talk about the things that matter, I think that is a massive gift. And if you have introvert friends who are always trying to catch you to chat for an hour or two, count that as a blessing and not an annoying thing. I understand that we are all busy, we all have things to do. But I think that over time, this is a part of human nature, human connection, human bonding that we will terribly miss. Which is really connecting with a person deeply, way beyond just asking about the weather, asking how are you. Not right now when you ask how are you, the question doesn't even have its significance anymore because automatically the other person is just going to say fine. So really spending time to build genuine and authentic relationships is important. And having deep conversations is one of the ways to get there. So I also have a lot of extrovert friends. And some of the common things they tell me is that they struggle to create lasting and genuine relationships with people. So what I normally tell them is, it's because you're not genuinely focused on that person. There's just so much going on and you're so highly stimulated that you can't even spend that much time to really try to get to know the other person. And even if you do, you might be so distracted by a lot of things, either in your head, in your environment, and the sounds and the lights and the whatever, that you're not really concentrating. So the time, those are not, I guess, quality time. And that's really the power that an introvert has. Unfortunately, it's not something that we all recognize, because you don't read an soft skill articles, a soft skill article that tells you that, okay, you need to have deep conversations with people, right? And this one I discovered on my own when I was moving up the corporate ladder. I took up portfolios that were given to people way older than me, and I thought, you know what, I only have 24 hours in a day, and I was already working 16 hours, so there was no more time. So how can I build deep relationships with people and have deep conversations, so that one deep conversation that I had counts a really long way, because I really paid attention, I listened deeply to understand, okay, this is what they do, and these are their the other department's priorities, and how do they work, and what is the culture. So I got a lot of information and insights, and I think as an introvert you kind of contemplate on that. It kind of sits in your mind, and when the time is right, you get to use it, which is extremely powerful, because you can go around having 5 or 6 conversations, but you pick up nothing. So isn't that time wasted, right? So really ask yourself, when you are communicating with people, what kind of relationship do you want to build? Is it just sort of a hi-bye relationship, or you want to build genuine deep relationships? So having a real deep conversation is the way to go. And I know time is precious for everyone, but here lies the opportunity, because everyone is so busy. The person that you're talking to might not have felt heard for a long time, and I mean truly heard in terms of like needs and like motivations and what drives them. So that is really lacking. So for my fellow introverts out there, I want to tell you that deep conversations are cool. Doesn't matter what other people tell you, but ask yourself, does it make you more fulfilled having a one-on-one with a person? Then you could really feel the connection, you guys learn so much about each other, and it was a fruitful conversation, as compared to a sort of a hi-bye thing, but you got to speak to a lot of people, right? So quality over quantity. There is no shame that you have only spoken to 3 people, but these are like really deep conversations, like you know a lot about the person after, like inside out. And don't compare it to other people who may have a very different communication style and a different preference from you. You're an introvert, play to your advantage. And I'm saying this specifically because I also have clients who come to me and say that, Mei Ping, I'm an introvert, it's not working, and I need to change myself. No, I don't believe in this concept. I believe that every personality trait has its own advantages. We just need to learn how to leverage them. Of course, we need to avoid certain pitfalls depending on the role you're taking. Either you're in a corporate role or you're running a business, and it all kind of plays out in different ways. But it's a very wrong mentality to tell yourself that some part of your personality is broken. There is something wrong. There is nothing wrong, right? We are all unique. So recognize that. Have the self-awareness to recognize that we are all unique. Now, what is needed is that certain parts of your personality may not help you go a long way in your career or business. And that's something that we can adjust. And the adjustments are behavioral because these are little things that you can learn and practice to get better. Even for myself, right? I definitely enjoy like one-on-one conversations, but I know that the nature of my role where I was running multi-million-dollar projects, I couldn't have 1-2 hours to speak with every single person because I was just working with too many people. So then I learned little tips to still have deep conversations that doesn't take a lot of time, right? So like I said, once you have this realization that, okay, deep conversations is totally okay, right? I don't have to compare my style to someone else, and I just learn to make it work for me. And we apply the right behavioral changes that you can practice, then it becomes a skill that you can keep for all your life. So that's all for today's Deep Conversations Are Cool, and I look forward to speaking with you in the remaining parts of this Introverts Unite podcast. Till then, see ya! Thank you for joining me today. If we have not yet connected, I look forward to connecting with you. You can find me on my website, www.gardaping.com, on LinkedIn, as well as Facebook. The links to my profiles are in this episode's description box. I can't wait for you to join me in the next episode of my Gardaping podcast. Till next time, bye!